Hello, good morning. All right, we are currently live on YouTube, currently live in the Bead Floor Studio Facebook page. Oh, and let me go live in the Learn How to Make French Beaded Flowers Facebook group. Okay. Let's see if it'll work today. If you're currently live with me, say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. It is May 23rd, 2025, 10:05 a.m. Central Standard Time here in the Midwest USA. And we are currently, yes, live in the Learn How to Make French Beaded Flowers Facebook group. It's working today. Hello, Jill. Where are you watching from, Jill? Welcome to this live stream, live with Fen, Bead Chat help session. So we've got another chill live today where there's really nothing specific that I'm working on. So just working on things that we're working on. So let me know what you're working on. What are you beating? You don't have to be beating because I don't think I won't be beating today. I'll just be doing beating adjacent things. So there are things that we need to do, right? So, but if you have any questions on making French beaded flowers, let me know. That is the priority of this live stream. If you have questions, let me know in the chat and I will try to help you with whatever problems you're having with French beading. Otherwise, I will be doing my thing. So, Jill from South Carolina, hello. Okay, those that are watching in the Learn How to Make French Beaded Flowers Facebook group, you know the drill. Okay, make a comment, like, so I can. Okay, I think I'm back. I think I'm back. There was some sort of connection issue. I switched Wi-Fi spots, so now I think I'm back. So hello, good morning again. We're currently live on YouTube, currently live in the Bead Floor Studio Facebook page, and currently live in the Learn How to Make French Beaded Flowers Facebook group. Looks like we have Natia joining us. Hello. Yes, it was frozen. The connection was lost. But now we're back. So hopefully we're back for good. I had to switch Wi-Fi networks, so hopefully that works. Today we are having another chill live, like I was saying. But if you guys have any questions about the classes that I ran in the past month, put them in the chat, and I'll try to help you with whatever questions you have with the classes that we did. I know that Thurium was a hard one. That was a hard one. And you guys had lots of trouble with like breaking wires and stuff like that. But um, let me know if there's anything else that you have questions on. That is the priority of the stream. If you have questions, I will try to answer them. And last week, I potted up the 5-year anniversary project with the anthurium, the orchid, and the bird of paradise. And then as I was answering questions, I moved my camera and it cut off. And I don't know if I moved it or whatever, but it cut off. So I'm sorry if I missed your comments, but I think I tried to get everyone's questions answered after the chat. But if I missed it, that is why. All right. So today, like I said, I'm going to do a chill live, and I have these parrot tulips that I just cut. It's like on its way out. I planted these in the fall, so I thought, you know what? I am going to cut these and do a flower study. I don't know if I can bead these on the spot right today, like I normally do, because I need to think about the technique that I will use with this, but maybe we can brainstorm it together. Okay, it looks like we have Teresa joining us. Hello, Teresa. What are you working on? Natia, what are you working on? Okay, let me switch screens. Hopefully my other screen works. No, it's not. So it was working for like an hour. So what else is new, right? Everything is breaking. What else is new? So let's try again. If not, then I'll do something else. Which one is it? Which one is it? This one. This one. Okay, let me try one more thing. If not, then I'll just use my main camera. Ooh. Give me a second. Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Okay, so hopefully this works. My main camera, my face camera is not working, but I think my demo camera is working. So if at any point it goes off, I'm gonna say that'll be it, because I don't feel like dealing with the technology today. If at any point it is not working, then that is it. So let me know, you guys, in the chat if you can hear me. Okay, great. Thanks, Teresa. Okay. All right. So face camera's not working, but we got one camera working. So I have this. What is this? This is my parrot tulip that I grew. So I thought I will do a flower study today. Okay. Thanks, Natia. Okay. You can hear me. Great. All right. Hello, Allison from West Chazy, New York. 40 degrees. Ooh, rainy day. Okay. It's been like 40s and rainy like the past week here. So hopefully we get some sun soon. We do have some sun. It's warming up this next week. So it looks like you're kind of behind us right now. All right, so I've got this parrot tulip, and I've got this parrot tulip. It's kind of smaller. I don't know if I want to I don't know if I want to bead it this big, but I also don't want to bead it this small. There must be like a I would do like maybe like a something in the middle range. So yeah. Okay, so Teresa is making a cabbage rose and fantasy flowers. Cool. Cabbage rose. It's like one of the first flowers from Daleen Kelly, not Daleen Kelly, from Virginia Nathanson's book that I did. Was the cabbage rose. And it was kind of crazy story. I strung on beads one by one and beaded it like that. So, all right. Debbie says she can hear me. Hello, Debbie. Thanks for joining me today. So today, if you are just joining me, I am doing a flower study of my parrot tulips that I grew. It is on its way out. Spring is on its way out. Parrot tulip. Spring, it's on its way out, and it's almost summer. So these spring flowers are almost done, and I want to capture them in a flower study before it's gone, and then I won't see it for a whole year. It'll be a whole year. Maybe I should do a smaller one first. I should do a smaller one first. Okay. And also, this is a help session too. So if you guys have any questions about the classes that I ran in the past month, let me know. Okay. So what I like to do is trace the flower. I will take pictures of the petals, and because this is on video, I can always refer back to the video now to see, but I want to be able to get the shape of these tulip petals. Like I normally like to, when I do these flower studies live, I like to bead something, but this is quite complicated. I don't think I can do it on the spot, to be quite honest with you. I need to think about it. This is one of these patterns that you need to think about. What will I do? Off of the top of my head, I'm thinking maybe scallops. Some type of scalloping technique, or maybe like a loop back technique. Let's talk it out. Let's talk it out. Okay, so that's one of the petals. How many petals are there? So 1, 2, there's 4 here. I think there's more than 4. For this one, 1, they're all different. 2, ooh, broke it. 3, 4, 5. I feel like there's six for petals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, this one has 6. These probably just fell off. So those petals probably just fell off. There's 6 petals. Okay. Did I get this one? Yeah. They're all so different. It's all crinkly and stuff, so it's hard for me to trace. But I'm going to trace this one of the smaller ones. All right. Not sure how I'm going to do this. Not sure. Isn't it funny how there's always one camera that's not working? Last week it was the other camera. This camera. This week is this. What else is breaking in your life? Well, our water heater just died, so we went like a few days without a water heater. Went to my mom's to take a shower. Dragged all the kids to my mom's house to take a shower. And then in between, we put water in a bucket, right? That's how we showered. But now we finally got it fixed. So it's nice to have hot water. Very thankful, very thankful to have, these first world amenities. But we have gone without them before. Okay. Natia says, not working on anything today. Watered my balcony plants. We've only had 2 liters of rain in the past 5 days, and I was able to harvest my first strawberries. Oh, nice. Nice strawberries. Okay, so a couple years ago, no, 3 years ago, let me focus on here so you guys can see what I'm doing while I'm yapping away. Okay. A few years ago, like 3, I found some wild strawberries and I transferred them to my garden. And they were tiny, tiny little plants. And they were kind of sad because they were in like spots where it didn't have a lot of nutrition. So I brought them to my garden and now they are thriving. And the leaves have gotten so big. I think they're pretty much domesticated now. I don't know if I can call them wild strawberries anymore if I've brought them to my garden and they are being taken care of. They're being domesticated. And the berries are delicious, much better than, your big strawberries. What a goofy looking leaf. I mean, petal. So each petal is going to be different for these parrot tulips. I'm going to have to take a picture and just kind of eyeball the colors, but I love these colors together. They're beautiful colors. All right, let's see. Beautiful colors. Okay, so these are the smaller ones. I'm just going to have to remember like the smaller ones are smaller petals from the different flowers. But I just want to get a range of the sizes. Get a range of the flowers, of the petals. And you ask Fan, when are you gonna release this pattern? And it's like, I don't know. Whenever I get to it. It could be right away, or it could be 5 years from now. So I do have patterns that I have done these live design with me's, and I do have patterns, but just have not fully made the PDFs yet for them. Just why does it look so blurry? Can you guys see what I'm doing? Because I'm looking on the screen at times and it's just like, is it blurry or not? And if you are just joining me, I am doing a flower study on these parrot tulips. Oh, look at this goofy little leaf. Oh, wow. Oh, what am I going to do for this? I think this has like a little lip like this. What am I going to do with these petals? It might just sit in my sketchbook for a while before I figure it out. It would just have to sit here for a while. Okay. But sometimes that's how it is. I had my sunflower pattern. It was in my sketchbook for a long time until I was doing a different pattern, and then somehow I was playing around, and the technique that I was doing, it just triggers something in my brain. It's like, oh, I can do this for this other pattern. So sometimes we just start something and then it just you get triggered later on how to do a project. So this is going to have to be one of those. So it could be 5 years. It could be 5 years from now. All right, let me make these darker. But I will have pictures of the petals, leaves, petals. I have pictures of the petals so I can refer to it for the colorway. Right. So, okay, I know there are 6 petals. I like to write down like the specs. All right. Let's look at this one. How big it is. Okay, Teresa says 80s and 90s in California. But that is California, right? Well, it'll be like, right now it's like 60s here in Wisconsin, and it'll be 70s next week. So, a beautiful petal. Look at this. I went to this botanical garden many years ago, maybe 6 years ago. That was not a few years ago. That was many years ago. And they had these parrot tulips. And, when you go somewhere, you can only take pictures. You can't take it apart and study it like I do here. So I want more parrot tulips in my garden. So this fall, I will be buying more because I am obsessed. Okay. Let's see here. Natia says, I still have the question of how I could manage because of the scallops for the anthuriums, not to work the row so tightly that the wire still fits between the beads. You know what? I think if it gets too tight in between, you might just need to crush a bead with your pliers. So that is one option, or not to do it so tightly, right? So give it some give so that there's actually room for you to put the beads on in between. So I mean, I love that you are beading tightly, but at the same time, um, it's giving you problems because you aren't able to do the scallops. So you may need to just loosen it up a bit, right? Loosen it up just a little bit so that you can get that wire through. I know it's hard to not to want to bead loosely, but at the same time, if you do it too tightly, sometimes you just need to let go, right? Sometimes you need to let go a little bit, just a little bit. Okay, so looking at this, there are 3 petals, my observations, 3 petals that are kind of bigger and 3 that are smaller, okay? So I couldn't get that from the smaller pair of tulips, but I'm seeing this looking at the bigger ones. I'm going to switch pages and do this here. All right. Okay, Debbie says, I'm looking to get more wire at Pear Wire. Okay, which type of wire do you use? Metallic craft wire, silver plated, non-tarnish, or non-tarnish? I was guessing the metallic color is green for the stems. Okay, so Debbie, all. They will all work. Actually, I normally use the metallic or the non-tarnish. So I know the metallic, they are more affordable. So it all depends on the colors that are available. So for the metallic colors, you'll get the greens and all the various colors. And for like silver and gold, you will get, I think it's like a different, I think that is not considered non-tarnish. So it all depends on the color that you are looking to get. I don't normally, I'm not sure if the silver is silver plated. I don't think so. Oh, it is. It is. Okay, I think it is. So yes, you will use the metallic. So I will go with my first answer, which is you will go with all, I guess, depending on the colors that are available. So the silver, if you're getting like the silver and the gold and the rose gold, that is manufactured one way. And then you have the metallics colors, which is, I'm guessing it's manufactured a different way. I don't know the specifics, just that they are on separate sections of their website. That's just what I'm basing it on. And the price points are different for the silver, gold, and also for the metallic colors. The metallic colors are more affordable. So, and most people actually prefer to use colored wire anyways. So I would first go with metallics if possible. But it's not always. I mean, if you want to get if you want to use silver, you want to use gold, rose gold, you want to be more matchy with your beads, then you would need to use the non-tarnish silver gold plated wires. Hope that helps. So, okay, is this not, let's see. How is my screen there? Okay. Okay, looks like we've got April joining us. Hello, April. What are you working on? All right. So that is my tangent on wires. But if you can get, well, I mean, I guess you really want the colors that we get the most, use the most, are like green, because obviously because of the leaves. So, oh, my iPad keeps falling. You can actually contact them and get it in bulk instead of buying it off the website. Just use the contact form and said, hey, give me a quote for the bulk spools of green, and they will get back to you. Oh, okay, that's one. Which one is this? Which one? Ooh, I think it's this one. Yeah, I think this one. Okay, looks like we have Brooke P joining us on YouTube. Hello. Hello, Brooke. Let me know what you're working on. Where are you joining us from and what are you working on? If you are just joining us, I am studying parrot tulips, and then eventually, one day, I will bead them. Okay. Okay, so Natia says, so it's best to intentionally leave a gap on the wire so that I can make the scallop better, then I don't have to destroy a bead. Did I understand that correctly? Yes, either way will work, right? Either way, whatever you feel like. But just, yeah, bead it more loosely. I mean, I can't believe I am recommending that, considering how tightly I like to bead, but but if you are beading too tightly, then yes, make it more loose, but not so loose that, it's too loose. There's always a balance. Okay, so April says, I'm working on hairpins. Nice. Okay. And while I'm also tracing these parrot tulips, if you have questions on French beading from past classes, I will answer them as best as I could. Okay, ooh, there is a kind of like a gap here, kind of like this. It's going this way. I am imagining this is going to be a lot of free form scallops is what I'm seeing. Okay, so Brooke says some wire brands and retailers also sell in large bulk quantities. Yes, Parawire, if you contact them, they will sell the wire in bulk. Oh man, is this one of the bigger petals? I think it is. I don't know if I will do every single one, but I just want to get like a feel of the petals. Three bigger ones. I want to get the big. These are the big ones. Yes, Brooke. Love pair wire. I like them because the quality is good and the like quality slash pricing is reasonable. So you can also do like zebra wire from Fire Mountain Gems. The quality is depending is not as good as pair wire, and I think pricing is kind of similar. I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. Oh, there's a bug. There's a bug. Oh, I brought in a bug. Okay. So quality is not bad, and I still use it, and I still buy it and use it. But I just feel like quality is different. And if you do get bulk pricing at Pairwire, the pricing is just not that much more expensive than Zebra Wire. So if you can get Pairwire, but Zebra Wire is not bad either. But if I have to choose, I will choose Pairwire. Okay. Okay, so what I'm seeing right here is lots of hours of playing around with this petal to get the right shape. But there is not any, I don't need to do it exactly how it is because each petal is different. So I don't have to be awfully specific, right? Like with certain flowers, the petal shape is very specific. But I guess with a parrot tulip, you just need to, well, I mean, you get it, I mean, semi close, but it does not need to be awfully specific. But hours and hours of fun of trying to figure it out. Was this a smaller petal? I think it is. It feels so big, but it is a smaller petal. All right. At first, my intention was not to do a flower study. I was going to pot up something. I was going to pot up my primroses, my blue primroses. So I have all my primrose stuff over here to be potted. Maybe I'll do that next week. But I thought, like, this is this. I'm not going to be able to do this flower study if I wait until next week. So I thought I should do it today if I want to do it because the flowers will be gone. I didn't think that I would still have these tulips this week because I thought it was going to be all done by this week by the looks of it, but it's still here. So I'm grateful that it's still here. Okay. The sketches, the tracing of it looks a lot bigger than the actual leaf itself. Okay, let me move some things out of the way. Move my primrose out of the way that I was going to pot. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, this is the small one. Can it go into this section here? I think it will. All right. Okay, Debbie wants to know, do you always stick with 24 for the main flower? I found that I have a roll of 26 gauge. Is this too thin for the flower and too thick for the lacing? 26 gauge wire, definitely too thick for lacing. You want to stick with 30 gauge, 30 or 30, 32 for lacing. For beginner beaders, I always recommend 30 gauge wire for lacing just because it's a lot easier to work with. You do not want to use 26 gauge for lacing. And as far as the petals for beading, it all depends on the size of the flower that you are making, Debbie. So it depends. Not always. 24 gauge is the main wire that we use the most often. But depending on the size of the flower, if it is a smaller petals, we will use 26 gauge wire. So yes, you can use your 26 gauge wire for smaller flowers. And I believe you took my Enchanted Rose class, Debbie, and you can use the 24 gauge wire in a pinch to make the Enchanted Rose petals. It will be slightly more flimsy, but in a pinch, it will work. Okay. It will work. Where did this go? So I would not use 26 gauge wire for lacing. Sometimes I like to demo using 28 gauge wire for lacing, but just so that it shows a lot better on screen. But in real life, I will not even use 28 gauge wire for lacing because it is too thick. Unless you have even if you have a really large flower, I would still use 30 gauge wire just because it's too thick. Yeah, trying to talk and do stuff. Okay. So the main wires that I would get, if you were looking to order wires, I would get 24 gauge because that is the wire that we use the most often. I would get green. You cannot go wrong with getting lots of green because, lots of leaves. So you can't go wrong with lots of 24 gauge green wire. And I guess it would depend on. Now, as far as the 24 gauge, like wire for petals, you don't know what flowers you're going to make. So what's best to get, if you want to get a lot of it, would be, like neutral colors, like gold, silver. But at the same time, that wire is more expensive than the metallic colors. So I guess there is the balance of you buying the gold and silver that's slightly more expensive, but it'll work for most flowers, or getting the metallic colors that are less expensive, but then you might possibly need to get more or buy lots of different colors in anticipation of a project because you don't know what colors you're going to make just yet. So I always recommend that you get green and then maybe like a neutral color, silver, gold, that type of thing, because then you can work with all different flowers. But I guess what colors can flowers be? Mostly they're like the reds, oranges, yellows. So if you want to anticipate, or pink. So if you want to anticipate, flowers, thinking in terms of flowers and what colors you want to get, I would say maybe get some red 24 gauge wire, red gold wire, some but yeah, the gold will work for orange and yellow flowers. You can even get some bare copper wire for like orange. Like they tend to tarnish. They're not non-tarnished. They will tarnish. The bare copper wire will tarnish, but I have made stuff with the bare copper wire that has looked pretty good. They have held up. So, and I have had the supposedly non-tarnished wire tarnish. So, I guess I would say I would even go with the copper wire for, like your orange color flowers or your yellow color flowers. That will work fine. I've used the copper wire for my sunflowers, and they have held up just fine. So, and the great thing about using the bare copper wire is because it is a lot cheaper than your metallic finish or your non-tarnish wires. So that if you are just starting out and you want to just, experiment, and you want to be more cost effective, I recommend getting the bare copper wire because it is a lot cheaper. And even if you make a mistake, you're not going to be crying too much because the wire is not super expensive. It's compared with the regular wires that they sell. All right. So Debbie says, I want to try the daisies or daffodils or crocus. Okay. So daisies, you can do white wire or silver wire. Normally with white, I just use silver because didn't always have I didn't always have white wire on hand. So with daisies, I would just do silver wire. Daffodils, you can do gold wire or silver wire. So daisies and daffodils. The daffodils, you can use silver also, or you can use gold. And crocus, well, it depends on the color of the crocus, but I'm going to think traditional crocus purple. So you would want to get silver wire. So all of those I would use, depending on the size of the daisies you're doing, I would get 24 gauge wire. I think 24 gauge wire will work for all of those. Okay, Brooke says pear wire makes white enameled copper. Would that work as a neutral base for petals? White. Okay, Brooke, I don't know enough about the white enameled copper. Since I'm on, let me go look real quick. Because I don't know if this is the one that you're talking about. Let me grab it off of my my wire. I think this is the one you're talking about. I'm not sure if this is enameled, but I think this is like the antique white. Let's see, shop, craft wire. Let me look on the website. Let me look in the metallic. Where's the white? I think the white is, this is ultra white, not antique white. The ultra white is under silver plated. So I'm not sure if this is enameled because I'm not seeing that. So But I think I got this one under the silver plated. So, but let me go into the other one. Let's look under metallic wire. Okay, so, and since I'm on the website right now, so getting back to Debbie's question from earlier, so it all depends on, so if you go under craft wire and then you see all of these and you're like, fan, what wire should I get? So you can get it all depends on the color that you want, right? So you can get the metallic colors, you can get the silver plated colors, um, you can get them, yeah, perfectly fine. Okay. All right. Oh no, April says losing the video feed. Well, I hope you guys are hearing me. So let me know if you hear me. Okay. Okay, let's see. Debbie says, I already have 24 gauge copper, so maybe just green and red to start. Okay, good. So, all right. So just play around with the copper. I mean, you wouldn't want to, as long as you use an more opaque color with the copper, and if you don't mind seeing the copper color, that will work. A lot of people, I mean, they don't like seeing that. They like to have it matching. So if you use like an opaque white, then you won't see it as much. So, but I would recommend getting maybe like a more neutral too, just in case. So maybe like a silver if you want something more neutral. So definitely green and red. You can't go wrong with green and red. Okay, Brooke says, I do some chainmail and pair wire perfectly matches the colors of my favorite enamel copper jump rings. So I got them mixed up. Okay, so all right. Good to know. All right. So, all right. Thanks for confirming, Debbie. I think April was just having, I don't know. I don't know, April. I don't know what's going on with you. Okay. I don't know what's going on with you. But I have enough of my own technical difficulties. I don't need to deal with everybody else's technical difficulties too. But I think let's see. Maybe I'll do one more. And this is another big one. So this is pretty. This is a nice one. I will attempt to do this one. Did I already do this one? No. All right, so I'm going to finish up this petal and then I will call that a day because I've got things to do. All right. Okay, so Debbie says that's in addition to the silver and gold I also have. Okay, I see. So you are good. So you have most of the supplies, so that's good to go. So excited to see your daisies and crocuses. Crocus, you can also use, your neutral color with silver. Well, I am grateful today because at least one camera works. At least one camera works. Last week it was the other camera. This week it's this camera. So, okay. All right. All right. And the sun is shining today, and I'm excited to get my things planted on Monday. That's when it's starting to warm up. No more 40s in the horizon. So I can get my peppers and eggplant in the ground. I don't, if you are a gardener, are you sick of all the plants in your house? They need to go outside. Just like if you have kids, you tell them you need to get outside. You annoy me in here. All right, so that is all the parrot tulips that I'm going to do. So we have 3 small, and we're going to do 3 large ones. And whenever I get to them, and then we have this what is this? Stamen? Not stamen, pistil. This big ass pistil. But yep, not going to worry about tracing this. So, all right, I'm going to stick around just a little bit if you guys have any more questions. Oh, look at all these. Okay, look at all these flowers, the flower petals. See, this is your fate if you are in my garden. If you are a flower and you come into my life, this is your fate. But look how pretty they are. So pretty. All right. All right. I know Natia has a question, but my iPad is having issues. Hang on. Okay, she says, have you noticed, Fan, that your tulip leaves have different colors inside and outside? I noticed the same thing with the flower I was studying. I'm curious to see how you solve the color problem. Um, well, yes, I have noticed the color differences. And the color problem is, as I have done with other flowers that have the same issue, like my pink magnolia, my pink tulip magnolia, is I will just do the front because I am not a magician, right? The beads will be the beads how they are. So I am not going to be able to do different colors for the front and the back because the beads are the beads. But if you really want to really want to be very specific, I think Suzanne Stephenson has come up with a way to paint your beads. So if you want to paint your beads on the back or the front, you can absolutely do that to make it slightly different. So that would be one way to get around that. Suzanne has talked about this for many, many years. Oh my gosh, a long time. A very long time, almost 10 years now. And I have almost bought the paints, like the glass paints, for doing it, but I have never gotten around to it. So now that you mentioned it, Natia, maybe that's what I'll do with this. So I do want to get around to painting the beads like on the outside or on the inside, um, just for different effects. But at the same time, for patterns that I'm teaching, I want it to be more accessible. So for me to do painting, it's not really that accessible for everyone. So chances are I may do it just for fun, but I don't know if it would be part of a class or anything like that because not everyone um, has access to certain things. And I don't want to make it like super complicated, right? So, but for those, I guess I could do an extra thing where if people are interested, then I can. But I still need to play around with it first, right? All right. So, okay, it is 11 o'clock here. So I will call it a day because got things to do. I got an appointment soon. So I will sign off. Thank you so much for everybody that joined me today. And I will see you next Friday. If you have any more questions on the on anything, any French beading, wire, beads, anything like that, then come on at next Friday and we'll chat. I don't know what I'll be doing yet. Will I be beading? Will I be potting? Will I be studying flowers? I don't know. I'll figure it out that day. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining me today. And I'll see you next week. Bye.